Hi and welcome to Upsiders Information. I'm a certified medical astrologer going financial. As a disclaimer, I'm not financial advisor and this is not financial advice. This is astrology. But as JP Morgan said, millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. Because astrology predicts sentiments, so it gives you an edge. That being said, I want to address what happened in the markets with a recent dump. As mentioned before, we were overextended across the board, but with crypto being ruled by Uranus, which is volatile and unpredictable, when it stations is expect the unexpected. And as I said in my previous videos, with Uranus events, you want to bet against markets. And for that, you can check the fear-greed index, and we were on the greedy side, so then you assume a change in trends. Now, usually when one thing is down, another goes up, but this dump was orchestrated pretty much across the board since there's manipulation because institutional money is in a grab for crypto now. And the algorithms with AI are doing their work behind the scenes. With exception was the metals markets with gold reaching all-time highs. And I've been recommending gold in all my previous videos. There are many reasons why gold went up, but one of the reasons is because in the futures markets, players rarely choose delivery. They rather cash in their contracts. But lately, governments, anywhere from China to New York, have chosen to take delivery on their contracts, and the surprise was that there was not enough inventory to supply those deliveries. As I mentioned, central banks are stocking metals. And during the weekend, when the markets were closed, Pax Gold, the cryptocurrency that is gold-backed, skyrocketed, surpassing the spot price. But then it got even with gold again. The downside of metals is that they can be bulky, especially if you hold silver. And though some people make a case for private custody, it also might not be safe. So there are platforms with vaults and perks where you can have both regular and IRA accounts and even credit cards with rewards in metals of your choice. And I will leave the link below of the one I use. Now, the silver lining of a market drop is that if you didn't sell, you didn't lose. You just have to wait it out till it recupes. Unless you need the money, of course. And that's why it's said that you shouldn't invest what you can't afford to lose. So always cover your bases first and pay your expenses. And then it's good to have some cash in hand. If anything, because it's a market on sale, you want to buy what's cheap. Or alternatively, watch what you can buy to see how low can it go and be ready to jump in when it starts reversing. And it's tricky because they like to set bull and bear traps to squeeze both ends of the markets, and that's why savvy investors like to wait for confirmation candles when doing technical analysis and they witness a reversal. So they are not sweating the small moves or gains, but they play the bigger game, the bigger picture. And that's why you want to be educated and act on reason and not react on emotion like the herd. Now, I'm afraid this recent dump is nothing compared to what might be coming in the eclipse season in March, and more on that later, but let me just say it shows upheaval for the markets or the world, which will impact the markets. But for now, let's focus on what's more immediate and leading up to it. This full moon on the 12th is in Leo, and Leo is dramatic by nature. Full moons are oppositions as the luminaries oppose, and thus confrontations or completions as matters reach to a peak. On a personal note, this could be a bold move to follow your heart and throw caution to the wind that liberates you, but it disrupts the status quo, and someone might not like it. And depending on where this falls in your chart, how it's going to manifest, if it is going to be in your professional life, home life, love life, and so on. On the world stage, there's a lot going on and more to come. This is just the beginning. And in the markets, full moons are usually local bottoms. Now, the moon is in Leo, where the moon is the population, but Leo represents the king. And the sun is in Aquarius, and the sun represents the king, but Aquarius is the population. So this could speak of a reverse in the power structures, like the masses empowering themselves and awakening to the powers that be and shouldn't, with all the information that is coming up to light on the use and abuse of our tax dollars, anywhere from that to the corruption in big pharma, the experiments, and so on. And we know the leads are shaking because they're losing their grip, as decades of conditioning had been pushed in a few years, with the side effect of backlash and the awakening of the herds, so the leads are desperate. Now, the moon is ruled by the sun, representing the king, and by king I'm referring to the establishment, not one person. And the sun is ruler of Leo, but is in detriment in Aquarius, because the kingdom is of the people, by the people, and for the people, like our founding fathers intended. And Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is an unpredictable planet of upheaval and volatility. As always, the unpredictable element is the human nature, and nature itself is unpredictable too, with cataclysms and so on. Uranus is in a tense T-square with the luminaries, like at a crossroads between two paths, and Uranus is the ruler of tech and crypto too, so I think this could be related to the implementation of AI or all of the above. A cataclysmic event that brings the grid down, for example, momentarily, or it affects the markets or the crypto market specifically in some kind of way, you name it. Because this is something coming from the left field, it catches all of us by surprise. Now let me remind you, this doesn't happen necessarily the day of the new moon, but it opens up a window of possibilities for such themes, which could happen anytime. And this is not fear-mongering, this is a warning to be prepared and to get your house in order, just in case of the worst-case scenario. And if it is no biggie, then even better. But I'm afraid we're being shaken to awaken, and that's of divine order, because as above, so below. Now, with all the nodes, both the true and the mean, from the topographical and the sidereal/Vedic perspectives, now all in the Virgo-Pisces axis, this year is more about the health industry. And recapping from my last video, we're in the year of the snake, which is as well related to health. The snake is the symbol of the caduceus, the medicine emblem, because the snake represents the kundalini energy of life, creation and recreation, the healing energy. And the snake sheds its skin in a phoenix birth theme of death, rebirth, and transmutation, which is both transformation and mutation, so growth and change that happens through healing. As a holistic provider myself, I understand that my job is not just about dispelling states of dis-ease, because the symptom is also manifestation of the soul and often a healthy response to an unhealthy environment. And we can see that with the food industry. People had eaten bread since before Christ, but now everyone is gluten intolerant, and the question is the gluten or the glyphosate? So these are Pandora boxes that are being opened for us to see, and this is just the beginning. It's going to be Pandora box after Pandora box, and I expect the medicine industry to be shaken to the core. That's a sector I wouldn't invest on. Now, with the North Node in Pisces, this does favor drugs though, so we'll see how it will play out. And this full moon is also in a tense T-square with Juno, the asteroid of partnerships, dissolving alliances, and we can see that on the political stage too. As information comes out, the need to redefine the rule of engagements or terminates with those engagements. And Juno is also called moneta for the coin, and it symbolizes issues with money. And we see how some of these dissolutions are about no longer subsidizing any more organizations, countries, and so on. Now the Sun is conjunct Mercury, the messenger planet, and also the merchant planet. The messages are clear. We have a president who's a businessman. He means business, like him or not. You guys have to realize that the USA Corp is bankrupt, and the system is not broken and does not need fixing. The system is corrupt and obsolete, works exactly as designed, and it needs dismantling and replacing, hopefully for something better. We'll see. And this applies to the financial system too, and there's where crypto comes in. Now about crypto, people are losing hope on an alt season and getting discouraged on the recent pullbacks. But what we need to start altcoin season is the layer 1 coins that provide the networks for decentralized transaction like Ethereum and Solana to reach all-time highs. Now Ethereum has been boring and people has been jumping ship, but is a very attractive asset for big investors like Mr. T, whales, and governments who are not in for the day but to build reserves. Ethereum is currently undervalued and accumulation happens behind the scenes, probably at a bulk discount, so you won't see it in the exchanges, and it takes a minute to reflect in price action. Then moms and pops start having faith again and rush into the asset too late and when it's already up. Probably the same people that rushed into the Trump coin when he was swapping it for Ethereum. Now, Solana is not undervalued, and the reason might be because transactions on the Ethereum network are more expensive, but the Ethereum network is more decentralized than the Solana network, so it provides less risk. And I think the government has a backdoor pretty much to anything since Obama. But let's just say that the Ethereum network is more secure than the Solana. So there are a couple of indicators that we are at the verge of an altcoin season. When we compare Bitcoin with the crypto market cap, which is all crypto except Bitcoin and Ethereum, and the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, shows that Bitcoin is overbought and alts are oversold, is an indication that we are about to flip. Another indication is when the whales and institutions invest in the asset. Another indication is with the net flow is outflow in the exchanges to be accumulated in private wallets, and we can see that's happening with Ethereum. And finally, when 70% of the altcoins outperform Bitcoin, we're almost there. And we can see that in Blockchain Center, the net. And the astrology for Bitcoin is challenging as Saturn is going to transit Bitcoin Uranus on the 17th, but we're going to feel that from the 14th to the 23rd. And this tends to be bearish and correlates to historical sell-offs, and hopefully it ushers altcoin season that we've been waiting. With that, I will leave you today. If you want a private session, you can reach out to me at upsidersinformation at pm.me, and it takes me more than a week to make these videos and just a second to like, so please like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you for your time. See you in the next one. Namaste.